At the airport, about to leave for our anniversary trip, I got a notification on our shared tablet, a hotel booking for my wife and her boss in a different city. When I showed her, she shrugged and said, "I need more than what you offer." I walked away at the terminal, flying first class to a new life while she begged for a ticket she never got. I'm not the kind of man who cries in public. Never been. Grew up working on cars with my dad in a hot Louisville garage, hands always covered in grease, mouth full of grit. I don't talk a lot. But what happened that morning at the airport? I haven't stopped thinking about it since. Her name's Dana. We were married 12 years. I met her when she brought her Camry into the shop, bad alternator. She was sharp, confident. Wore a pantsuit like she meant business. She smiled at me like she already knew I was going to ask her out. And I did. First date was barbecue at Mark's feed store. She laughed at my stupid jokes, and I remember thinking, this could be something. We moved in together fast. Married within the year. I didn't have much, but I gave her everything I could. Worked overtime to save for a little house on the South End. 2-bedroom, nothing fancy, but it was ours. Dana worked for a marketing firm downtown. Assistant to some higher up. His name came up once or twice. Cameron. I didn't think anything of it. Over the years, we had good times. She helped me start my own auto shop. That was a big deal. Took a loan, risked everything. Dana was by my side, or so I thought. She helped with the paperwork, smiled when I hung my name on the sign out front. But people change. Or maybe they just stop pretending. The last couple of years, she got distant. Always tired. Always distracted. Said work was stressful. More trips for conferences. Always with that same boss. I didn't ask questions. That's on me. Our anniversary was coming up, 12 years. I wanted to do something big. We'd never flown anywhere just for fun. So I planned a trip to Aspen. Ski trip. Nice hotel. First class. Everything. I even called her best friend to check her schedule, make sure it was a surprise. I booked everything under my name. The tickets, hotel, the works. I wanted to remind her we were still a team. The morning of the flight, we left for the airport just after 6. It was cold, and she barely said a word in the car. I figured she was tired or maybe a little moody. We parked, checked our bags, and sat at the gate. She handed me our shared tablet to pull up the boarding passes. That's when it happened. A notification popped up at the top of the screen. Booking confirmation, the Westgate Hotel, San Diego, April 3rd to 6th, room for 2. I froze. I tapped it open. It wasn't for Aspen. It wasn't for any work trip. It was for a luxury hotel in downtown San Diego. 2 guests. 1 king bed. The name next to hers? Cameron L. Her boss. I stared at it, not understanding what I was seeing. It was booked last week. With her card. Using her email. She didn't even try to hide it. I showed it to her. My hand was shaking. She glanced at it, then at me. Then she shrugged. I need more than what you offer. Just like that. 12 years. Down the drain. Like I was some old car part she didn't need anymore. You serious? I asked. My voice was low, but I could feel the heat in my chest. She didn't answer. Just looked back at her phone, like I was a minor inconvenience. I stood up. And I walked. Didn't even look back. I went straight to the counter and told the agent I was flying solo. Asked how much to upgrade my seat to first class. She told me the price. I paid it without blinking. I saw Dana coming after me a few minutes later. She looked pissed off but also confused. "Mike, what are you doing?" I didn't say anything. She followed me to the gate. "Mike, we need to talk." "I didn't mean for you to find out this way." I turned around, looked her in the eye. "You weren't gonna tell me at all." She tried to reach for my arm. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "But you did." I handed my ticket to the agent and stepped onto the plane. She stood there at the gate, her voice raised now. "Mike. You're seriously going to just leave me here?" I didn't answer. She didn't have a ticket. They were both in my name. She wasn't going anywhere. When I sat down in that big leather first-class seat, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. I turned my phone off. She wasn't coming with me. When I landed in Aspen, the snow was falling. Light, soft, almost peaceful. I didn't have a plan, not really. Just knew I needed to be anywhere but home. I checked into the hotel alone, reservation still under Mr. and Mrs. Barnes. The clerk looked around like he was expecting someone else. I told him she wasn't coming. The room had a fireplace. King bed. Views of the mountains. It was the kind of place I imagined we'd sit by the window with hot chocolate, maybe laugh like we used to. Instead, I sat there alone with a glass of whiskey and silence. My phone buzzed once I turned it back on. Missed calls. 17 of them. All from Dana. A couple from her friend, too, Monica. Then the text started. "Mike, please talk to me. I didn't mean for you to find out like that. I made a mistake. Please come home." Mistake? That wasn't a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to grab milk. Booking a romantic weekend with your boss while your husband flies you to Aspen is a decision. I didn't respond. Next day, I went skiing for the first time in my life. Fell on my ass twice, got a bruised hip, but damn it felt good to feel anything. I was alive. When I came back to the hotel, there were more messages. Then I saw her post on Facebook. A picture of her, alone at the Louisville airport, captioned, "When your husband abandons you at the airport." Still smiling through the pain. The comments were a mess. What happened? You okay? Mike did what? She was spinning it like I was the bad guy. Like I just ditched her for no reason. I stayed quiet. Let her play the victim. But I didn't stay quiet forever. I messaged Monica, her best friend. Just one line, ask Dana about her San Diego trip with Cameron. She booked it a week ago. Monica didn't reply right away. But 3 hours later, she called me. "I'm so sorry, Mike. I had no idea." Turns out, Dana told her I was cold and distant, and that I didn't make her feel appreciated. The usual excuses cheaters give. Monica was furious. She told me she was going to that conference alone, she said. Cameron? That guy's married with 2 kids. There it was. Dana wasn't just betraying me, she was part of a whole triangle of lies. Or maybe a square. Monica sent me screenshots. Dana had texted her the week before, "Mike's being sweet again. Trying to do some anniversary thing. I feel kinda bad, but it's too late now. Cameron already booked the suite." Sweet. So he booked the hotel. She lied to both of us. Of course. Now I was angry. Not the kind of anger where you yell or punch a wall. The cold kind. The kind that sits in your gut and doesn't leave. I didn't reply to Dana. Not yet. I waited. I stayed in Aspen 3 more days. Met some people. Had dinner with a woman named Jess who was going through her own divorce. We just talked. No moves, no flirting. Just two tired people trying to breathe. When I got back to Louisville, I didn't go home. I went straight to my shop. It was mine. Paid for. Signed in my name. Dana used to help with the books, but she hadn't stepped foot inside in months. I opened the office computer and went through the records. That's when I saw it. She'd been moving small amounts, $200 here, $300 there, from the business account to her personal one. Over $5,000 total. Hiding it under vendor reimbursements. She thought I'd never notice. She was wrong. I sat there in the back office of my garage, staring at the bank transfers. My hands were shaking, but not from shock anymore. From the slow boil of betrayal turning into focus. This wasn't just emotional. Dana was stealing from me. From my shop. From the business I bled for. That night, I pulled every bank statement, every invoice. I went back 6 months. The numbers didn't lie. She'd been siphoning money right around the time she started traveling more for work. She didn't just betray our marriage, she was skimming from my business while sleeping with her boss. I printed everything out, every shady transaction, every fake expense she labeled. I called my cousin Jake, who works in construction but used to be a paralegal. He looked through the docs and said what I already knew: you could press charges for this, man. That's fraud. I didn't answer right away. I wasn't sure what I wanted. Justice? Revenge? Closure? Then something happened that made my choice for me. Cameron's wife showed up at my garage. Her name was Allison. Blonde, maybe early 40s, wearing a long coat and big sunglasses like she was trying to hide. "Are you Mike?" she asked, voice tight. I nodded. She pulled out her phone and showed me photos. Dana and Cameron. Kissing at a rooftop bar. Holding hands at the zoo in San Diego. Dana in his hotel room, wearing one of his button-up shirts. My stomach flipped, but I didn't show it. "I hired a private investigator 2 weeks ago," Allison said. "I didn't know your name until I went through his phone this morning. He saved your wife's name under Danny. Clever, right?" I almost laughed. She sat down across from me in the office and laid it out. Cameron and Dana had been seeing each other for over a year. Business trips, secret dinners, even a weekend in Miami last fall. Meanwhile, Allison was raising their kids and covering his ass at charity events. She asked me what I planned to do. I didn't have an answer yet, but we agreed on one thing: neither of them deserved to keep pretending like they were victims. That night, I emailed Dana the bank statements. Just 2 words in the subject line: "You're done." No message. No explanation. She'd know. I didn't hear back for a full day. Then came the calls. First from Dana. Then her sister. Then Cameron. I let everyone go to voicemail. Then I got a message from an unknown number. It was Cameron. "Mike, I don't know what Dana told you, but this is getting out of hand. Let's talk like men." I ignored that one too. 2 days later, Dana showed up at the garage. I wasn't surprised. I'd been watching the cameras. She walked in like nothing happened. "Mike, we need to talk." I looked her in the eye. "There's nothing left to talk about. You're blowing this out of proportion," she said. "Yes, I messed up. But I didn't steal anything." I slid the folder across the desk. Her face changed. She flipped through the papers, slower and slower, until she reached the last page. "Where did you get all this?" she whispered. "I own this place. You think I wasn't going to notice money disappearing?" Her hands were trembling now. "Mike, I was going to pay it back. Things got confusing." "Save it." She started crying. Right there in the office. I didn't mean to hurt you. Cameron said he was leaving his wife. I thought you didn't love me anymore. I didn't respond. I just stood up and opened the door. She didn't move. You really gonna throw away everything? For this? No, I said. You did. After she left my office that day, I made a choice. I wasn't going to play it quiet anymore. I sent everything, the photos, the financial records, the hotel bookings, and Dana's texts, to a lawyer I found through Jake. Took 2 meetings and a few signatures, but the divorce papers were filed fast. Kentucky's a no-fault state, but the fraud? That was different. I wasn't just ending a marriage. I was coming for every damn penny she touched. And I wasn't done. I sent the financial records to Dana's HR department. I didn't even have to explain much. Just attached the email chain, her expense reports, and a note that said, "You may want to review employee conduct during company-funded travel." 3 days later, Dana was fired. Cameron tried to play damage control. He emailed me, tried to threaten legal action, said I was ruining reputations. That's when Allison stepped in. She used the photos I gave her, plus her own evidence, to file for divorce and full custody. Word got out in their office fast. Cameron didn't just lose his marriage, he was put on administrative leave while they audited his travel expenses. The mess they made came crashing down around them. Dana moved back in with her mom. She called me every few days, at first angry, then crying, then quiet. I never answered. But I did make one last move. Remember the house? The one we bought together? I paid off her half in the divorce. Cheap, too, because she had no job and no leverage. Once the house was officially mine, I changed the locks. Then I put it up for sale. It sold in 3 weeks. I took the money, sold the shop too, and moved out to Flagstaff, Arizona. Different life. Cleaner air. A smaller garage with just me and one apprentice. Sometimes I think about the nights Dana and I used to spend on the porch. She'd lean into me, and I believed every word she ever said. That was the mistake I made, believing her more than I believed myself. But the worst part? I saw the red flags. I ignored them. I let her distance slide. I believed the conferences, the late nights, the cold bed. I told myself we were just in a rut. That was my failure. I didn't ask enough questions. I didn't want the truth. Now, I live different. I pay attention. I don't give trust away like candy. And Dana? Last I heard, she was working retail at a strip mall in New Albany. Cameron's divorce hit him hard. Lost custody. Lost his job. His wife took the house and the car. People say revenge doesn't fix anything. But me? I disagree. Sometimes, the best revenge is letting them live with the mess they made, while you fly first class into a life they never thought you'd have the guts to build.